Did you know the nation's largest custom-made leather shop is right here in Paris, Kentucky? Ralph Quillin has been running this shop for over 30 years, right here on Main Street.
Grew up in Lexington. For some strange reason, maybe the scholastic part of it is I couldn't follow in my dad's footsteps, who was a physician, and somehow we just ended up making halters. It was, I think back in the early 70s, I got a job at a sandal shop of all places in Lexington, and learned how to make sandals and belts and a few other things, and one thing led to another, and here we are some 35 years later. Essentially, every tool that we use, some permutation of it was in a halter shop 100 years ago. Things really haven't changed that much. But I remember my mother telling me years and years and years and years ago, you can't make any money with leather. She might have been right. But we just grew from one aspect to another, from doing some leather goods that we sold at that very first Rolex 3-day event. Did some wholesale works to Myers back when they were downtown, and Graves and Cox, and those folks moved to Bourbon County in 1979 and just figured that if we were doing leather and we were in Bourbon County, we probably ought to be making horse halters. So pretty much taught myself how to do that and in an old stripping room. And finally migrated to town, and here we are. Fellow that I knew made halters. I kind of hung around his place a little bit, just kind of watched what he was doing and asked maybe a few questions. And from there, just it's like taking crayons and eventually, you come up with a really nice piece of art after a number of years. And whether it's an art or a craft, I think there's some art in it because we have a tendency to get pretty proud of the work that we do. And the more that you do it, the more critical you become of your own work, and the better it becomes. With a piece of wood, there's a piece of wood. You've got to cut it and nail it. And with leather is you can cut it, and then you can fold it, and you can drape it, and you can do a number of things. If you start to think about what's made out of leather: shoes, garments, handbags, halters, belts, it's a pretty unique, unique property, and it's all natural, and it's pretty easy to work with. We actually produce all the halters on site. All the belts are produced here. Everything that we make is actually produced in the shop. We've got 3 folks that actually sew halters on some machines that are terribly old, and we just keep on rebuilding and rebuilding, just like great old Packard cars. You just change the spark plugs in the oil, and they just keep on going. But and then we've got some folks that assist with prep on the halters, prep on the belts. So really a couple of operations. And then on the second floor of this building, we actually there's 3 computerized engravers up there. The halter leather comes from an outfit in Louisville called Thoroughbred Leather, a fellow that we've known for years and years and years and years. American-made hides. He actually has them tanned to our specifications. We're kind of picky on color. So he's worked with us over the years to get just the right color and just the right weight on these heavier hides. So we use him. The belt leathers are coming out of a supplier up in Ohio called Weaver Leather. They provide us with most of our brass, most of the solid brass hardware we use, and the belting leather and portfolio leather, the lighter leather. So we're actually using a couple different types of leathers for the different types of products. Quality is probably more than very important to us. It's when you have your name on the front of a building, you know, it's like branding a bull. You know, you've pretty much attested to the fact that I stand behind it. And that's not only what I do here, quality-wise, but what we've instilled in the entire staff. Everyone here at Quillin Leather and Tack understands quality, understands customer service, and understands there's no sense in taking any shortcuts because the material costs exactly the same. You know, five more pennies invested in time, and we get a superior product. The most gratifying thing is folks call in and say, man, thanks. You know, it was really, I don't know whether they're impressed with us, Quillin Leather and Tack, and the staff, and the fact that you'll never reach an answering machine because I don't like them and we don't have them here. You actually talk to a real person. Whether it's the personal service that they get, you know, the personal attention to detail, the product. I think it's probably a combination of all of those things. So that's kind of the approach here, and folks appreciate it.